listening to Double Time, your daily accessible technology show. Now, here's your hosts, Stephen Scott and Shaun Preece.
Oh, hello, Shaun Preece. Happy Wednesday to you, sir. How are you doing?
Happy Wednesday to you, Stephen Scott. I'm well. How are you?
I'm good. You know, it's funny. It's that midweek hump thing, isn't it? You know, you're tired. And, you know, the last thing anybody wants to hear is you're tired. In fact, you know, nobody wants to hear anything about your life. You know, when people say to you, you know, how are you doing? What they really want to hear is, I'm fine, thanks. If you start saying, oh, well, you know, the cat ran away with the next door neighbour, or, you know, oh, I have rats in my shed, you know, that kind of thing. Nobody wants to hear about it, Shaun Preece. That's what I'm saying.
So you're apologising right now for the next 10 minutes of where we talk about exactly that?
Yeah. What, that we're complaining about absolutely everything?
Yes, absolutely. I don't know. It's still feeling wintry out there. I'm quite Christmassy at the minute. I know. Oh. I'm feeling good. There, I've said it. It's getting a bit cozy. I've rearranged the house for winter mode. Do you do that?
What does that mean?
Well, I've moved the settee in front of the fire, so for those cozy evenings, curled up in front of a roaring fire, which never happens, but in my head, that sounds lovely. I've rearranged things. I've shut down the garden. I've set everything up for hibernation, basically.
Shut down the garden? What on earth does that mean?
You put away the sun loungers and the cocktail bar. You pack that away.
Okay, yes. Sorry, I forgot about the cocktail bar that's in everyone's garden. That's right. Yeah, you're quite right. You best put that away because it'll get snow on it. That's absolutely true. Yeah. Well, fine, whatever. I do wonder, though, what the priest's policy is on Christmas trees and when they should go up. And I'll tell you why, because here in the Scott household, we are discussing this. We're debating this of an evening because my mother-in-law and my father-in-law are going away for Christmas. They'll be going off to a faraway land.
Where? I demand to know.
I don't know. I think it's Portugal, but I think they change every year. But yeah, this year they're going somewhere else. And so, as a result, I'm kind of feeling that we want to have an early Christmas with them. And then, obviously, Mum and Dad will be over for Christmas Day. Yes. My mum and dad. So, you know, that'll be nice. But, you know, that means we'll get 2 Christmases out of it. So I think it's an extra reason this year to put up a tree. In the last few years, we have not put a tree up at all. And look, can I tell you why? No, I'll tell you why. Because last year, Dougal had passed. And my wife just wasn't
Christmas
feeling it.
was cancelled.
She just wasn't feeling it at all. And I said, you know what? That's fine. Because I didn't want to go up into the loft anyway. So it kind of worked for both of us. But, you know, we decided last year, just, you know what, forget it. Just abandon Christmas. But I must admit, even by the end of it, although in one way it was kind of nice because when it came to New Year, you didn't get that horrible empty feeling that you get when you take everything down and suddenly the house has returned to normality. And you go, oof, there's nothing in here. It was actually kind of nice to just be right, you know, all the way through the holiday season without it. But this year, I think we're all feeling a little bit more upbeat. Of course,
Are you
Oni
really
is
gonna
with
go
us.
For it? Yes.
And of course,
and Coco.
Who knows what they're going to be like with the Christmas tree? I can only
Real
imagine.
Christmas tree or artificial?
Oh, artificial for us.
Oh, all the way. Yes, pink.
I'm not picking up
you
these
just
pine
put it up
needles
like an
everywhere.
umbrella. Yeah, it's so much easier. I've got to say,
Pink.
We never do Christmas decorations. We never do a Christmas tree.
Boo! Why?
I know. Doesn't that sound terrible?
I thought you'd be. Hang on. I thought you. Well, okay, not you. I thought your lovely partner Sarah, because she seems the type to me who would have twinkly lights hanging off anything she could find.
Yes, or throughout the year. But I mean, Christmas is no different. No, she doesn't do Christmas. Well, yeah, pretty much. We got, you know what? Sarah's a bit into her heavy metal, so we got skulls all over the fireplace anyway. So, well, look, since the kids are all grown up now, we don't see the decoration. I know I'm playing that card. We don't see the decorations.
On.
No, what's the point in going through it all? I just want the big Christmas dinner and move on.
You know what you need? Do you know what you need, actually? Here's what to do. You need to get some nice cinnamon candles. Do you know what? It's a different sense this year for you. So you need candles. You need the smell of Christmas. The lights, you're right, don't really matter. Get some nice cinnamon candles. I said this to my wife.
Christmas.
We want some smelly Christmas in my house.
Brussels sprouts.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, it's that warm cooked food. It's the candle with the cinnamon. It's that's nice. Although dog friendly. What was it my wife said the other day? Was it soy? If the candle's made of soy, it's okay for dogs, but if it's not, you got to be...
Hang on. Wait, I know I'm old. Are candles not okay for dogs anymore?
Well, some of the scented ones aren't, no.
Why?
Well, it depends on what you get. I mean, for some animals, you cannot have certain types of candles, some scented candles at least, because
the world's confusing to me.
Dogs.
Okay, very good.
The
Make sure
impact
you've
being
got
no more
dog-safe
dog
candles.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay,
Be careful with your
right.
candles.
Enjoy your holiday season, everyone, wherever you are.
Yes, and try and keep all the animals alive as well. So, just
Don't
treat your
bring it
pets
down.
responsibly.
Unbelievable.
A dog is not just for Christmas.
Okay.
If you're careful enough, there's enough left over for Boxing
Stop
Day.
it.
Come on, the old ones are the best. Come on. It's Christmas time, nearly.
Not yet, it isn't.
And,
What are we talking about today, Stephen Scott?
I have
I'm moving
absolutely no idea. But here's the thing. I guarantee you it's going to be brilliant. Because we're going to we are going to get into one subject, actually. Maybe we'll get into that first, because we do have an excellent review of the Pixel Watch from one of our listeners.
Oh, from one of our listeners.
No, not from me. No. Are you kidding? I gave you my review. It's terrible.
Okay, well, we'll see if our listener backs up that response.
We shall hear from Yusuf today. We'll maybe get to that first, actually, but we are going to hear your voicemails and emails as well. Lots of those coming in. Do keep in touch. If you do want to get involved with the show, here's how.
Get in touch with Double Tap.
Email feedback at doubletaponair.com.
Leave us a voicemail.
At 1-877-803-4567. And now,
You can send an audio or video message to us on WhatsApp.
that number is 1-613-481-0144.
I know that throws people off elsewhere because they all think that's the halfway point of the show. So I just like to annoy people by playing that early.
I'm confused.
Yeah,
Yes.
well, you're always confused. What difference does it make? So look, we'll get to the emails, but do keep them coming in, the WhatsApp messages as well. I know you're responding. I think you've decided to respond to everyone personally now. I don't know what's going on over there at WhatsApp.
Yes, I'm sorry. There was a little bit of a delay. I was setting it up on various computers because I've got my own WhatsApp and then the double tap WhatsApp and trying to get it all to work together. But no excuses. I did respond to everyone a couple of days ago, so we should be up to date now, and I will have a look later on to keep up to date.
It's not, and just to be very clear, we set up WhatsApp, and I'm telling you this, Sean, rather than anyone else. We set this up so people could communicate with the show, not so you can just have a private chat with your friends.
Why? It's the only friends I've got. I like the interaction. I'm suddenly popular again. It's great.
Okay, well, look, we'll get to the messages we have received, at least some of them, because we can't get through all of them today, but we'll definitely try to get through a ton of them today. But first up, Yusuf is here with his thoughts on the Pixel Watch. This followed a conversation that we'd had with Yusuf. He'd got in touch with us before to say that he had managed, or was thinking at least, about getting hands-on with a Pixel Watch, and I asked him to get back in touch with us when he finally got the watch to tell us what he thought of it. Here's his response.
Ask and you shall receive, Stephen. Hello, Laura, Sean and Stephen. This is Yusuf from Norbury, which is in South London. You wanted a demonstration, Stephen, of the Google Pixel 1 watch, so I will give you just that. I'm recording on my Pixel 7 Pro phone and using the Google Pixel 1 watch, which you may remember I said I was going to be purchasing a Pixel 9 Pro and a Pixel 3 watch. Well, things have developed somewhat, and I will hold that carrot out to you and come back to you on that later after the demonstration. So for this demonstration, I'm going to take you through the home screen, notification screen, and the Google Fit Today screen. I've slowed the speech down a bit so it's easy to understand and turned the volume up quite loud, or as loud as it will go, whilst maintaining its comprehensibility without becoming distorted. And I'm going to try and keep my mouth shut while I do this so I don't speak over the speech. So here goes.
17:39. Unread notifications. Swipe up to open. Day and date Tuesday the 24th of September. Steps today, 13,029 steps. Fitbit today. 88 BPM. Unread notifications. Swipe up to open. Image. Gmail. 31 minutes ago. Fitbit. Your weekly progress report from Fitbit. BBC Sport. 47 minutes ago. BBC Sport. Wicket. England. Home screen. 1742. 17. Steps today. Fitbit today. 17:42. The 24th of September 2024. A. Yusuf. Steps 13,029, 3,029 over goal. Steps 13,029, 3,029 over goal. Floors 11, 1 over goal. Distance 5.54 miles, 0.54 over goal. Calories burned 1859, 781 left to go. Active zone minutes 57 of 22, goal complete.
Okay, I'll stop there because it might get a bit boring if I carried on. As you probably noticed, it was getting a bit unresponsive in the notifications. I was swiping and it wasn't moving to the next notification. I wanted to get to the clear all notifications button, but it became so unresponsive that I decided to just stop. And the Fitbit app, for some reason, I swiped past the steps indication and it repeated it. I don't know why it did that. I have to say, it's getting worse with its lack of responsiveness. And I think it's because it knows what's happened with the Pixel 3 and the Pixel 9 Pro. So I got my phone and my watch just over 2 weeks ago. Got the phone out, got it set up. Really liked the phone. Really, really nice. The feel was great. It had lovely squared off edges. I much prefer them to the rounded edges. I started setting up the watch and my heart sank from the moment I heard the speech. Now, I'd heard the Google Pixel 2 watch as it was given a demonstration on Blind Android Users podcast. And that's why I didn't upgrade to it, because I hated the speech. And I thought Google couldn't possibly release another watch with the same issue. Well, it was muffled and at times the speech was distorted. So clearly they had released another watch with the same problem. I thought I'll give it a couple of days, see if I can get used to it. I couldn't. So that is kind of 80% of why I took the decision to send it back. It also had two other problems. It maintained the Pixel Watch 1's lack of responsiveness, and it also had the same problem of going to sleep while TalkBack was speaking. Now, I know I can be quite boring, but you don't expect your speech devices to go to sleep on you, do you? I mean, Jaws doesn't do that. So, unfortunately, I've had to send back both the watch and the phone, because as much as I liked the phone, the watch is so fundamental to me now. I use it all day, every day, that I just couldn't tolerate it. So I'm about to rejoin the evil empire that is Apple. I've bought myself a Ultra 2 watch because of the alleged 36-hour battery life. Even if I only get 30 hours, that'll be better than what I'm currently getting. Plus all the new sensors that it's got in it that the Pixel Watch 1 doesn't have. And I think the Pixel Watch 3 does, and speech that I can tolerate. I was a little nervous by Shaun saying that he had issues with responsiveness similar to what I had described on my Pixel 1. So I shall be interested to see whether I have the same experience. I'm waiting for my Ultra 2 watch and the iPhone 16 Pro to arrive, which I'm told would be in 14 days roughly. So it's been a week since I ordered it. So we'll see. Cheers, guys. Bye.
So there you go. Thoughts from Yusuf there on the Pixel Watch. The review being, I sent it back. I
kind of always want to bite my tongue because I'm not an Android user and I haven't gone hands-on with this. But the more I hear, I get sort of dismayed by the Android watches here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the Pixel phone is such an amazing phone, such a great piece of kit. And yet the accessibility from a screen reader point of view of the Pixel watches, it just seems so disappointing. I mean, does no one check this? The speech being muffled, the unresponsiveness. And let me say this, Yusuf, 13,000 steps, by the way. I noticed how you kept doing that. I know you said it repeated on its own. I don't believe it. I think you were just very proud, as you should be. That was impressive. But, I mean, joking aside, this isn't good enough.
No.
Really isn't good enough. Sorry.
No, you're right. Look, I have said this for long enough. I'm disappointed by these watches. I mean, by version 3, I would expect to see some level of improvement. The question is, though, where is the problem? Is it the hardware in the watch, or is it the software that's on the watch? And it could be a combination of both. But ultimately, I think there needs to be a bit of a redesign here, or at least a rethinking on one side. If the hardware is never going to be as good to run the software should be adjusted accordingly, and vice versa. If the hardware can be improved, that's great. It could be running great hardware and the software is terrible. I have a hunch that might be the case. I've said this before. I don't think necessarily this is necessarily a watch issue. It could be that the TalkBack needs to be redesigned for it. But I have heard people say in the mainstream world that when they use this device, it can feel clunky. And
so it's just under spec.
Possibly, yeah. And that could be the problem. I mean, it's not good enough, to be perfectly honest. But I just don't know where Google are going with this, because I always think, when a company like Google or Microsoft comes up with a product, it's almost like this is the dream product. This is the best it can be. And then everything else should follow suit. I mean, that's what we get from Microsoft Surface. That's what we got from Chromebooks.
Exactly.
Chromebook Plus
this is how it should be done.
Yeah. The thing is that I share the frustration because I feel that, Android Pixel devices especially, they would be my go-to. If I had the money to buy a brand new Android phone and I was looking for a brand new phone, I'd be buying a Pixel, because it is the best that you're going to get, the best experience of Android you're going to get. Simple as that. That's my view on it. Now, yes, I know there's price issues there and all the rest, but just let's take money out for a second. If you had the money, that would be my recommendation.
Yeah.
I would say the same for Chromebooks. I would say buy a Google Chromebook. Now, I don't think Google actually produce Chromebooks themselves anymore. They used to.
I think they've stopped.
That's all moved to third parties now, but they used to produce some really nice. I mean, the Google Pixel Slate was a stunning piece of kit. The Pixel Book, then the Pixel Book Go, they were really nice pieces of hardware. But when it comes to the watch, yes, the hardware is nice. It's a nice design, but internals or software, we don't know. It's just not working. So, yeah, I think back to the drawing board with that one, I think.
Yeah, I think Yusuf was very fair there. He tested it out. And, I mean, having to go back to an Apple device says everything, right? I mean, yeah, really disappointing. Again, if people really want to dig into this, I would suggest and recommend highly the Blind Android Users website and podcast.
Yes.
Excellent. I mean, they test it so well. So I would definitely recommend people go over there as well for another opinion. But yeah, really disappointing. And just to pick up on the Apple Watch responsiveness, I really haven't been using mine very much at all lately. How about you, Stephen? Since the update on the Watch OS, how's the responsiveness for you?
I've got to say, I'm using the Series 10, obviously running the latest Watch OS, and it is glorious. It is
really
glorious. Yeah, really enjoying it. I don't know what the major difference between 9 and 10 is. Probably not much. This could be software driven, a lot of these changes, but certainly more responsive. I don't have that horrible feeling of, okay, could you just tell me the time? I'm tapping away on the screen, nothing's happening.
That's exactly the problem.
We've got past that.
Good. Yeah, it felt like, because it was working fine before, and then one of the updates just seemed to really make it clunky to use. And it felt like I was waiting. And even if it's a second delay while you touch the screen and waiting for it to say something, it feels like an eternity when you're there.
The only thing that irritates me, and it could just be a setting issue, it could be a way that it shows up on the screen, I don't know. But when you tap a notification, so say you get the haptic response, you've got a notification, or if you've got the sounds turned on, you'll hear it.
Yeah.
You tap the screen and say it's an Outlook message, or what, it doesn't matter what it is, but WhatsApp, Outlook, whatever. As soon as you tap it, it'll start saying Outlook message, and then it'll start reading it, and then it'll stop and then do it again. Outlook message, and then begin reading it again. It does it every single time. And I don't know if it's because from memory with this, and again, I've not seen the actual UI in operation for a while. I have screen curtain always on in my watch. But I remember when it used to come up, it would come up with like an animation first, and then that animation would say new message from Outlook, and then that would go away, and then it would have the message underneath that. And I don't know if it's still doing that, and hence why it's reading twice. It's like
and maybe
telling
you
me
can
that. And yeah, we could turn it off. I don't know.
Turn it off in accessibility under, what is it, motion or something under there. You can turn off those animations maybe. Yeah, honestly, I don't know. Yusuf, again, we're going to lean on you. Get back in touch when you get hold of your Ultra 2.
Yeah, let's get another review going.
And let us know.
Now, he probably will have the watch by now because he sent that review in a little bit of time. We're complaining about catch up here. Yeah, exactly. So, I'm sure he's got the watch by now. But do let us know how you got on with it. Right, let's move on to some other emails because, look, we've got plenty of them. Yeah, come on, let's get some emails.
Oh.
We get emails.
Yeah, we get emails.
We get your email.
It's a bit late. We've already had one.
Well, that was a voicemail.
Here's your mail today.
Fair enough.
I just wanted the oosh. That's all I was interested in. Let's be honest about it. Okay, Brian's first up with a meta update for us.
Hi guys,
Yes.
just a line or two letting you know that I received an update today which has given me the ability to ask Meta Glasses general questions, such as what is the tallest building, etc. However, it still does not allow look and describe. It is coming slowly. Regards, Brian.
That's interesting. So you're getting the what's the tallest building thing, but I thought that would allow you. I mean, it's great, isn't it? By the way, Burj Khalifa. There you go. I can save you the time.
Well done.
That's the
And
answer.
how tall is it, Stephen
It's
Scott?
very tall.
Now, you see, that is one of the questions it gives you when you enable Meta AI. And
It was in your demo.
It takes you exactly right. It takes you through a little, how to use it. And those are the questions it asks you to ask. So Meta AI is enabled there. So why isn't look and describe? Honestly, I am totally bewildered by it. I have no idea what's going on. As I said a couple of days ago, on Monday, mine stopped working. This is not available in your location.
Oh, really?
I've been using it for ages without a VPN. Just set it up straight, and been using it all over the place. Used it in London a lot. Came back here, suddenly it's not working again.
You left
I
London.
have
That's
no
why
idea
you
what's
go back to
going on.
London.
Well, maybe. Yeah, let's move. Yeah,
We should all move to London and we get it. Then we're in the satellite coverage area for Meta AI. I know it's ridiculous, isn't it? Stan's been in touch. He wants to talk to us about an interesting one. Echo Studios, the larger, more expensive Echo speakers.
Yes.
He's got a view on these.
Greetings, Stephen and Shaun. Your discussion of the speakers that you profiled, or the headphones that you profiled, made me think about an experience that I had well over a year ago with the Amazon, the premium speaker that they had. The Echo Studio. I couldn't think of the name. The Echo Studio from Amazon. And I liked the speaker, but I had an experience that happened over a year ago, because it was during last year's NFL football season. And the A-lady told me that she couldn't work right then, that I would have to try later. Well, that later never came, and I didn't want to have to try to go, and I called Amazon, and they gave me a list of things to try, and nothing worked. And these things went on and on for a while, and sometimes you hear sounds that the speakers of various types make that you don't know what the sound is. They might be notifications, but the A-lady will normally tell you if it's a notification. But sometimes you'll just hear a blunk sound, but you can't tell, or I can't tell what it is. Fast forward to last week. Now, I didn't want to try to call because I would have to have sighted assistants tell me when the light turns green or a certain color, which I don't have one around, so that was not an option. I guess I could have found a person, but I didn't. Fast forward to last week, and I heard the sound again, but this was the interesting part. I went to where I kept the speaker, because I moved it from where I had it for a while and then moved it someplace else. But anyway, when I asked the A-lady at the time the speaker that I thought was going to be a paperweight forevermore came up and told me the time. So last Saturday, I decided to play music with my Echo Studio. So my Echo Studio is back. I thought it was gone forevermore, but I don't know. They did an update that actually fixed something. Normally, you hear about updates that break something. I have an update that fixed something. So I just wanted to share that with you and your audience. Have a great day. Wishing you all the best. And by the way, I'm having a great time with my Meta Ray-Bans. Take care, everyone.
There we go. Everyone
Thank you,
loves...
Stan.
Oh, hang on. Oh, that's it.
Oh.
Get that stopped. Yes. Yeah, do you know what? It is funny, isn't it? You know, leave a product on long enough, an update might come along and fix it. I mean, it's just maybe not a bad way to deal with some of these Echo speakers. I will say though, you can force an update on them, can't you? You can ask them to update the speaker if you're having issues.
Yes. You can ask it to check for an update. Also, if you put it in mute, you press the mute button on the top, then it will actually update then, rather than waiting till midnight or something before it does update. If you put it on mute for, can't quite remember how long, but if you leave it on mute for an hour or two, and there is an update waiting, it will force that update through. But yeah, just simply say check for an update. And also, I've noticed that mine say that every now and again when they lose internet connection, which I suspect was the problem here. Sorry, I can't help at the moment, try again later.
Yeah.
And sometimes it will add on, there is no internet connection or cannot find the internet. But sometimes it won't anymore. So another thing to try is to hold down the activation button, the button that you press to, like you said, the wake word. If you hold that down for 5 seconds, it puts it into setup mode. Then let go and hold it down again for another 5 seconds. We'll take it out of setup mode and force it to reconnect to your Wi-Fi network. And sometimes that's all you need. I suspect that was your issue there, but I don't know why it wouldn't have connected for so long.
Can I just stop you for a second? I am kind of blown away at the usefulness of that answer.
Well, that's why I'm here, Stephen Scott. Perhaps you've forgotten.
You had usefulness. I think I did. I apologize. I take it all back. Everything I've ever said to you,
thank you.
It was rude.
Thank you.
I take it all back. Well, except some things, but I'll write those down and let you send
you
an
must
email
remember, I live in a household full of echoes. I've got at least 2 in every room. So, yes, I come across this problem a lot. And I take an echo when I was traveling. I took one to London with me. I took one back home to Bristol with me. And at Bristol, in my parents' house, the Wi-Fi was terrible. And I did get a lot of that because it was a dead spot where I was. And I got a lot of that. Sorry, I cannot help you at the moment. And the reason was there was no internet connection, but it didn't always tell me, which I thought was really odd.
So how do you cope with it in a hotel? How do you get it connected to the internet?
Well, see, that depends as well. Some hotels have what they call captive networks, in which case you'll see a network in your Wi-Fi list, you double tap on it, and then it goes to Safari or your web browser and says, log in and we'll give you internet access. In that case, it's really difficult. You can't really do it. But on the hotels that have their own Wi-Fi and you get the Wi-Fi password, somewhere in the hotel room or ask reception, you simply open up the Lady A app, find your device and click on networks and type in the password and it will connect.
Right, okay. And that doesn't affect anything. It's not like you're setting it all up from scratch, right? You're just connecting it to the internet.
Yeah, you're just going into the Wi-Fi settings and giving it another Wi-Fi. And then as soon as I come home again and it detects the Wi-Fi network it's used before, it just does it itself. I don't have to do anything. It automatically reconnects.
So when you connect it to your mum and dad's house in Bristol,
yes,
does it remember that? And therefore next time you go back with that echo, it will reconnect?
Whenever you connect to a network through the Lady A app, there's an option there that says something like save this to Amazon, and it will stay with your Amazon account. So yeah, exactly right. Next time I go there, it will automatically see it as an option and should automatically connect. If not, I'll be able to switch easier without the password.
Do you find that easier than just taking a little Bluetooth speaker with you and just connecting your phone up? That's what I did I had a little JBL speaker. a little Bluetooth one that I just tossed in the bag, and I just listened to
Right,
that.
okay. Well, it's personal preference.
I'm just asking. Goodness me.
There's some things you can.
Look, I said nice things about you. Now you're shouting at me.
I'm not shouting at you, Stephen Scott. If you want to hear shouting,
the tables have turned in this relationship. Let me tell you.
You can do it that way. The Lady A app, of course, is fairly accessible, pretty much accessible on the phone. So you can do it that way if you want. There's still a couple of things that you can't do on the phone app that you can do on an official Echo speaker. For example, if you want to make in-game purchases, hello, night managers.
Yeah, I see, right, okay.
You cannot do that on the phone app. You need to do it on an actual device.
And can you drop in another device if you're away? So could you drop in your... Oh, that's cool.
Yes,
I like that.
And it's all exactly the same. So, for example, when I was away, I was just simply drop in bedroom and I was talking to Sarah.
That's amazing.
Lovely. There you go.
Oh, I think you're going to have set some people off now. That's it. Was it Prime Friday or something's coming up? Black Friday's coming up? Everyone will be buying Echoes and taking them on the move. You know what they need? They need to do one with a battery. I said this to Amazon, I don't know how many times ago. You know, I said, listen, you got to get a battery-operated one. Why don't they have
Tap at one point? There was an article I saw recently called the Amazon Echo Graveyard.
Oh,
and it was all those devices that had come out, you know, like the frames and the tap, and I think even the Spot has gone, right?
No,
all the devices that they brought out and then just, they're not available anymore, or they didn't. The Amazon microwave, which I was really excited about, being able to control the microwave, never came to the UK, never came outside of the US, for all I know.
No,
and it's gone now.
I should remember when I was at CES in 2020, there was an Amazon booth, obviously, and they had all this stuff on show. And, you know, they basically had a house with all this stuff in it made by Amazon. It was brilliant. It was absolutely brilliant because you could just talk to all of your devices. And I don't know if it's a case of they just threw these ideas at the wall and hope that some of them stick, or that they hope that other companies will build that functionality into their devices, and it doesn't seem to be happening. I've got to be honest with you. We're going to be talking more about this with David Ward from the Echo Tips podcast coming up soon on Double Tap here. He's going to be joining us to talk about everything Amazon. But I am a little bit concerned about what's going on. There's a story circulating about possibly them pushing back the update to Lady A's voice, essentially bringing in a more generative AI, a better generative AI than what's already there, till next year. Let's talk about moving to next year. What's going on?
I'm really concerned. I'm really worried. I think that would be a huge mistake and could cause problems.
We should have had an Amazon event by now, I would have thought. We haven't had one this year.
It's starting to look dated. I know it's absolutely ridiculous, and maybe it's down to just the pure insanity of how quickly AI itself has evolved. But the smart speakers are really starting to not seem so smart anymore.
The rumor is that what they've built isn't working very well. That's the problem. So their AI is not working the way they hoped it would go. And that's why there was rumor of them partnering up with Claude. But I suppose there has to be work done to make sure that it works as well. And that may be taking longer than planned. I mean, I suppose in some ways they still hold the market because they do have the cheapest devices available. Lots of homes have them.
Best way to control a smart home. I mean, it's amazing. I do my central heating. I access my security cameras, my doorbells. Dropping in the intercom is fantastic. The most accessible media player I've ever owned.
Yeah.
Radio, music, whatever you want. They're amazing. All they need, I don't know if they're trying to do too much. All I need it to do is to be smarter in getting the commands. If I can say, turn the heating on and turn it off in 1 hour, that would be great. Just being able to join commands together, link commands. I'm not too worried about anything else, about it being conversational, being my friend. Honestly, I don't care. I just need it to be a little bit smarter.
Well, we'll talk more about it with David. It's a very interesting conversation. But let's move on because Innosearch is something I've been using a lot of. It's now responsible for many purchases, purely for review reasons, obviously, just testing out. And I've been using it and getting on rather well. Darren, though, has not been getting on quite so well.
Hi all. I've been trying the UK version of Innosearch, but each and every attempt has resulted in failure. I try to add to basket or buy now, and each attempt is met with an unexpected error, please try again later message. This is trying over several days, not just the one effort. Anyone else having any more luck? Darren in Northern Ireland.
Okay, well, I'm going to put that out to the audience, and we do know that the team from Innosearch are listening, so I'll be intrigued to hear what they have to say on that. It could be a browser issue, potentially. It could be something else. I have not had these issues personally, Dan.
It'd be nice to know what device you're using that on, if that's a smartphone or on your personal computer, tablet, or whatever it may be. Yeah, who knows? Honestly, we'll have to throw that out. I don't know. I haven't used it myself yet.
Have you not?
No, I still haven't used it. I'm still in that muscle memory phase of Amazon open up when I want to buy anything. So I haven't quite got there yet, but I will try it out.
It's a trust thing. Everything's a trust thing, But I will say I am struggling more and more using Amazon. I think it's because, if I'm being brutally honest about it, I still try to use my what's remaining vision as much as possible.
Give that up, man.
I know. And the problem is I'm getting to that stage. I mean, I've been getting there for a while, but it's becoming more evident in the past, I'd say even few weeks, I've noticed it, that it's kind of no longer even letting me do that. It's just like even for images and stuff, I'm not getting the information. And it's especially stark when you use Innosearch AI and you ask the AI assistant for information on a product, and it tells you things that you would never have known, or you could just not get. You think you could see it in the image, but you can't.
Your eyes lie to you at a certain stage.
Yeah, they do.
You just can't trust them.
No, so it's getting to the point where I'm kind of
screen curtain on.
I'm getting a little bit to that nervous stage again, if you know what I mean. Back in 2017, I had this, and kind of getting back to that nervous stage again of like, okay, how am I going to take this?
Got
I know, and yeah, you're right.
The screen reader.
I get on, and obviously I can use it. I mean, I get on fine with the Mac, and I get on fine with Windows, and use my iPhone now, and I'm using it all the time with the screen curtain on. The watch the same. But I think it's that thing of, if you have something, you'll try and use it. But I'm noticing now that I'm even leaning away from that. So I'm kind of almost feeling that naturally I'm going to be pulling back from using remaining vision because it's just not working. So it's a case of I'm not even trusting it at all to even
we've
think
all
I
been
can
there.
use it.
Yeah,
it's such a mental struggle. You're constantly playing this game in your
I
head.
still look at the phone. I'm still holding it in front of my face for absolutely no reason. And sometimes I'm imagining I'm seeing things there. It's just...
Well, here's a weird thing. And I've told you this before, but it's kind of, I'm proud of, did I say the word proud? I'm proud of myself.
Like pride. I'm with you, brother.
So I'm proud of this one thing, which is being able to type on the iPhone with the screen curtain on and type quite fast on the screen.
I don't believe you. I'm sorry.
You don't believe this?
Say it again. I do not believe you can type without.
But I have to look at the
on.
screen. I know it sounds ridiculous, but I have to look at the screen. Screen's off, by the way. I can have a look
and
at it.
And screen reader's off.
And the screen curtain's on. No, voiceover's on. Yeah.
Oh, so you're finding the characters. You're finding the letters.
No. I'm just touch touch. So I use direct touch.
Direct touch. I do not understand the purpose of direct touch.
Well, you're just typing then. You're typing without the need for having to check the letter first. You're not getting that click. The other problem is if you're doing that whole, if you're trying to find a number or a letter. If you linger on that number or letter too long, it brings up that menu, which is any other characters associated with that particular letter or number, yes. And that makes me go mad. So
turn off slide to type, by the way. Yes.
Does that solve that? Does it?
I think so. I can't quite remember.
Right. Okay.
I know slide to type when you first get your setting up your iPhone, and that slide to type's on. Drives me crazy.
Well, so you do that, and then. So I turn that off, and it means then whenever I'm typing, I'm just literally tapping away. But for some reason, I think it's the BlackBerry days that did it to me. I just naturally just type away.
Magic thumbs. Are you using your thumbs to type then?
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, I'm going to say that is not true. Fake news.
I am going.
Stephen
Okay,
Scott.
I'll do a video. I'll do a video. I can use my Ray-Bans to film
fake video. AI.
Fake videos. AI'd. Yeah. Because let's be honest, that's exactly what AI is being used for, to make silly videos of Stephen typing.
I want to hear from our
nothing.
listeners. Anyone else out there are able to type with direct touch, so you're not hearing the letters, getting your focus on the letters and then tapping, but just typing away like it's a normal touch typing keyboard.
Yeah.
I want to know if that's possible. I've never seen that before.
It's possible because I'm doing it.
You say it is. Well, you say you are. I don't believe you.
Thank you for the support. I'm really appreciating it. Okay. I'm feeling vulnerable today, and it's just making me feel terrible.
Well done, you. That's inspirational. You're a hero.
I'm going to applaud myself. That's what I'm going to do.
As you should.
There you go. Thank you.
That's why I can't make head nor tail of any of your messages that you send me.
Well, I'm not going to guarantee any of them are correct. I just said, that they're...
Usually that's dictation, though, to be fair.
Well, that's the thing. Sometimes you feel the whole dictation thing and, you don't trust what you're sending. I mean, I have to say, there's a lot of people in the blind community who are, I wouldn't say senior in the blind, that doesn't make sense, but, people who are senior in their roles. And, you get some of the tweets or messages that they send and you go, what on earth have you written? It's just absolute garbage. And you think,
Yeah, but
these are people who are these are the same people who, by the way, never shut up about Braille and how important Braille is and how wonderful it is
Literacy.
and how it's all about literacy. And yet you read some of these tweets and it's just utter garbage.
Oh, I don't know. I think there's a lot of leeway in our community. If I'm sending something on Facebook, I was talking about the Meta glasses the other day, and I think every time I said glasses, it put classes with a C. Did I go back and correct it? No. You know what? People know what I meant, and
people who shout about literacy, should probably look at their own literacy first, right? I mean, was it people in glass houses shouldn't throw stones? Is that not the phrase?
Yeah.
But anyway, interesting. Now, listen, not the only issue with Innosearch. Who's been in touch here? David has been in touch with this one about logging in.
Hello, Stephen and Shaun. In response to your discussion about the Innosearch accessible online shopping AI application during your broadcast of the 20th September, I went to their website to check it out, and it appears to be very promising. The only thing that somewhat dismays me is that there seems to be only one option when setting up an account, and that is log in with one's Google account, which I am loath to do because of security concerns about the practice of using one service provider's account login to interact with another organisation. Is there really no way to create an account login that is specific and unique to Innosearch? Thank you for the excellent work that you guys are doing on our behalf, and I look forward to hearing your response to my question. Regards, David Rosenfeld, in Canada.
Thank you, David. Thanks for getting in touch. And also a huge thanks to Laura for reading out these emails as well. I always mean to say that.
God bless you, Laura.
I just love listening to Laura's voice, which is, why she has to read the emails. But no, listen, I think it's an interesting question because, I kind of just automatically jumped on and said, do you know what, why not? Partly because I just find it easier to use Google sometimes, for login. I don't have to then think about passwords. I don't have to remember them. I can just use Google. I do it for a lot of my accounts. I don't really think about the privacy concerns. Do you have a concern about that?
You're asking me? No,
I was going to say, because I don't think you generally do you?
But actually, when it comes to logging into apps and services using either, Apple or Google, sign in with Apple, I tend not to. I always want to sign in just using my email address and give my own password. I prefer to do it that way. There are some privacy concerns that when you do log in using a service like Google, or I'm not sure about Apple, but other ones as well, sign in using Facebook, for example. Facebook has access to all the data from that app you're using as well.
Yeah.
It is shared with that parent, if you like, service.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if that's the same with Google. Honestly, I do not know. But for that reason, I tend to agree. I want to sign in just using an email. So, that is a little bit disappointing. And plus, what if you haven't got a Google account? You've got to set that up first and then sign into Innosearch.
Well, I think that's a question for the guys at Innosearch. I will certainly put that to them. I think what we're starting to do here at Double Tap's kind of inadvertently happened this way. And we did talk about doing this, funnily enough, last year. We never really planned it out in any kind of meaningful way, but it's kind of happened as a result of you guys. It's just kind of how this whole show works, which I love. Because I'd said, it'd be kind of cool if we could get a bit more accountability onto the companies themselves, and answer our questions directly. And, we're going to be doing our Glide Q&A this week, thanks to all the questions you've been sending in. And goodness me, there's plenty of them. I hope we can get through at least a few of them, or certainly most of them, because there's a lot of questions coming in. But, we should do the same with Innosearch. Let's get them back on and, answer the questions and say, look, what's this all about? Because, look, I think these guys are interested. And I think, it used to be the case we'd be scared of, maybe putting people off. Someone builds something and then suddenly they've all this... what they feel might be, or it might appear to be, pushback from the community. But I'm not hearing pushback here. What I'm hearing is, look, I want to use the service, but, I'm having issues with it. Or these are
perfectly
questions.
valid, constructive criticisms.
Absolutely.
It's not anything out of hand. Absolutely. And the danger is, once you class something as the accessible shopping experience, you better be sure it's accessible.
Yeah, that's right. Absolutely. Well, cart, no label. Kind of thing. Yeah,
exactly.
So that's got to be fixed.
We're patient and we're quite happy to give you time. Let's see what the response is. That's the big issue here. The response is everything.
Listen, Ronnie got in touch a while back asking about ways to be led around. You might remember this kind of sparked a whole humorous conversation. I think it was part of our Q&A with Michael
laughed at me.
Babcock. Yeah, I laughed at you. Yeah, because we were talking about this idea of essentially being, what was it you suggested? Mittens or something? Guide dog harness?
Mittens,
I can't remember what you said.
A dog toy.
Oh, that's dog toy. That's right. Yes.
Yes.
You said dog toy. Thank you.
Yes. One with those. It's got a handle at both ends. For a tugging. It's a tugging toy. Yes, it's a very good idea. Guided runners use it all the time.
Well, my more sensible approach was Ramble Tag, which is something I mentioned, and Gordon is back on to talk about that.
Hello, Double Tappers. I really enjoyed the AMA episode. I can only contribute anything to the question about navigating through a crowd. Stephen is quite correct. There is a really handy device called the Ramble Tag. It should be available from RNIB in the UK. I believe that Ramble Tag themselves do sell to other countries. This is a really simple piece of equipment. It is essentially a large armband which fastens around the sighted guide's upper arm using Velcro and has a handle attached. I have one, and I find it very handy when being guided through busy places. I can hang on, and my guide still has full use of both hands. I have one of the original Ramble Tags and still use it regularly. I'm sure it comes with various colours, and I think there is now a version with a longer handle, perhaps something like a dog toy. I hope that helps. Gordon from Livingston in Scotland.
Thank you. Yes.
Stop that.
It's too much fun.
That does sound like a really good idea. I've got to say, I'm going to agree with you, Stephen Scott. That does sound like a better idea. And as someone who was holding on to the handle of your backpack as we were going through London and using that as a guiding aid, it works really well. It was fantastic. So yeah, I totally agree. That sounds cool.
I love it. And I think our local, our main station, our train station here is starting to use them. And those are really good because a lot of people don't want to hang on to an arm. I mean, I don't know about you, but the amount of times I've got on a train after holding on to a gentleman's arm. He's clearly been working hard through the day, shall we say?
Stop it!
And it's all a little bit, and you sit down, and I've got. The good thing is, I've got my wet wipes, so I'm always fine. always
they're disinfectant wet wipes.
I don't know if they are, to be perfectly honest. It's clean.
I've started always asking now, and I never did before. Maybe I was a terrible person, but for the last few years, I always ask, "Can I hold your shoulder?"
Yeah, you're very tall as well.
Well, I'm not very tall, but
a monster.
Okay.
Beast.
Oh, I don't know how to respond to that. Let's move on. Wow.
You wanted to respond to it. Okay, Doug wants to talk. Thank you, Gordon, for that. Really appreciate that. Doug has been in touch on ditching Jaws.
Hi, folks. It's Doug calling from Sault Ste. Siberia, where the temperature is, Sault Ste. Marie, actually, where the temperature is currently +4. It's down to +2 this afternoon, or early this morning. Anyway, I got a couple of things on my mind, namely Jaws and the fact that they got a notification that my license has expired. They want me to do an SMA, I guess, and I'm not going to do it. I'm going to get rid of Jaws and go to NVDA. However, in that light, I asked Siri, who is mentally challenged, for the number of Freedom Scientific, and he gave me the number for something called Freedom Towers in Florida. So I got teed off, and I went. I found this on the web. And I went over to. Just a minute. So I went to my Ray-Ban glasses and asked the same question, and instantly I got the right number for Freedom Scientific. So I'm glad I got those Ray-Ban glasses, I'll tell you. That's about it. Enjoying your show. Take care.
Thank you, Doug, in Sault Ste. Siberia.
Yeah, thank you, Doug. Okay, that's the first time I've heard Meta AI as a better result. I find it a little bit limiting, I'll be honest, the Meta AI. But yeah, glad you got there in the end. It's funny because I've been using Jules, as you know. I've been using Jules now for a few months on the Microsoft Surface that I've got. I'm loving it. It's really nice. I'm having one issue, and maybe you can help me with this, Stephen. WhatsApp and JAWS just doesn't seem to get on at all.
Really?
I mean, I get the shortcuts, Alt-C, Alt-H, to jump for the chats and the message history. But if I try and type a message to someone, it won't read what I'm typing. I can't go back and review it. It's really strange. I actually switch over to NVDA to use WhatsApp on there.
Now, isn't it Alt M to take you to the message field and then you start typing from there?
Yeah, well, I've tried all different ways. I've used the keyboard shortcut to jump there. I've tabbed through, past the emojis, a file attachment, and into the text field. And it just seems to be very inconsistent. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So
do you know what? I'll check that out because I haven't used WhatsApp on the PC for a little while, but I have set it up recently, so I will check that and see what response I'm getting. The thing is, I'm using Lisi as well now, so it's like, there's a whole other layer of commands added to that, so it kind of throws me a little bit. But let us know how you're getting on, guys, because obviously we're using WhatsApp here for the show, and of course it's a great way to communicate. You can send audio or text or video or whatever you want. But if you're using it on the PC, you could let us know how you're getting on. Of course, it's all dependent on updates, right? One update to WhatsApp can throw the whole thing out.
Yeah, no,
this is always the problem. There's so many bits, there's so many links in the chain, right? A Microsoft update, a WhatsApp update, a JAWS update. Everything the chain hasn't caught up, perhaps, or it could just be something silly, or it could just be you.
Yeah, absolutely, it could be me. I noticed I couldn't toggle the caps lock as well the other day when I was typing in there.
Okay,
and again, this might not have anything to do with yours, as you said. It could be just a WhatsApp issue
or a Shaun issue.
Other than that, very good. But I'm still loving
it. I'm getting my fire back.
Calm down. Unbelievable.
I'm getting my fire back. I'm going to put my sofa in front of your fire. Set your sofa on fire.
Thank you, Doug.
Thank you, Doug. Lisa has been in touch. Also on the subject of NVDA.
Hi, guys. I recently heard on some podcast, probably not yours, someone say that NVDA is a poor imitation of JAWS. I'd like to throw in a vote for the underdog. At some point, McAfee snuck their security scan plus app onto my laptop. I ignored this invasion until I found that the free version was incapable of repairing any issues it had identified. Using JAWS 2024, I set out to eradicate this useless invader. Unsurprisingly, the installer was totally inaccessible. Using JAWS screen OCR feature read all of the buttons in the window except for the uninstall button. Clicking around randomly in the OCR window did nothing. As I often do when faced with such complications, I launched NVDA with little hope of success. As expected, NVDA didn't read the window at all either. However, using the OCR feature in NVDA not only identified the uninstall button, but allowed me to click it right from the OCR window. So, to all you snobby JAWS users, take that. Kidding, of course, but I thought this was worth sharing. Please feel free to ignore if it's too off topic. I do have a touchscreen, so double tapping is applicable, in my honest opinion. Thanks for all that you do, Lisa.
Thank you, Lisa. Certainly not off topic here. That's bang on topic, frankly, and good to know. And I think you're right. I mean, look, I know you, Shaun, you've been an advocate for NVDA for a long time.
Amazing, yeah.
And I was always a little bit skeptical of it. Not in the sense of I didn't think it worked. I had my experience had been limited and almost Android-like, if I'm honest. I'd maybe turn it on, I'd try it, and then after a few days go, it's not really JAWS, or I'd miss something in JAWS. But I've got to say, in the last couple of years, I've noticed a huge improvement to the point where I would switch to NVDA over JAWS. Like when my SMA runs out on my JAWS license, I don't know if I'll continue with it either. And I'm sorry, Matt, I know you're listening. You'll be saying, oh, great, here we go again.
Hi, Matt.
But, but I don't know. I just, I think NVDA is a really good offering. And look, I'm not using it for necessarily work-related stuff. I'm using it for emails. I'm using it for basic stuff that people use, browsing the web, checking my email, writing some documents. I'm not using it. Google Docs, for example, is one area that I'm in a lot, and I need accessibility to work in that. It is far better to use Google Docs on the PC than it is the Mac. So I prefer using that. And I obviously bounce between the two, which is why I've put VMware Fusion on my MacBook. So I've got both Windows and Mac on there. And that's going really well. But yeah.
I haven't noticed any issues using Google Docs with NVDA or JAWS, to be honest.
That's what I'm saying. That overall, the experience is better on the PC than the Mac. I mean, nothing reads very well on the. I mean, it does read on the Mac. The problem is you have to wait. So what happens is when you load up Google Docs, you've got to wait like a minute or two before it will start reading anything. You're arrowing up and down, and you're frightened to touch anything in case you're moving text around or you're deleting something. So you have to wait until it sort of catches up with itself, and then it starts working. But that's one example. But no, I vote for the underdog as well. I think NVDA is great.
Well, I think they've both got features and limitations. As we talk about iOS versus Android, there's some things that are better on one and
100%.
lacking on another. So I think the best of both worlds is best. But the trouble is the price of duals. I think the home annual subscription is an absolute bargain. And if that was available here in the UK, I would do that all day long. I think that's well worth the money.
I would pay it to just have it. Even if I didn't use JAWS all the time, I'd still pay for it because I'd like to have that tool in my toolbox.
Absolutely, yes. And can I just say this as well? I mean, sometimes I switch to Narrator. Narrator works so much better than JAWS and NVDA in the settings of Windows. But I totally forgot what I was going to say. Please carry on.
Because we're finished. We're out of time, so thank you for that. That worked out well. Yeah, we're done. Right. But listen, thank you so much. Great hour as always. And we thank you so much for your emails. They mean so much to us, and we get such great conversation out of them.
Yes.
And great.
That was it. Yes, OCR and NVDA. I did not know you could click on buttons. Thank you. I'm going to check that out, Lisa.
I didn't know that either. I know.
No.
It's so funny because I've set up JAWS on that VMware computer. I'm like, I'm going to put NVDA on there today now.
Yeah.
Oh, so much fun. Okay, look, we'll be back tomorrow with plenty more. Join us for that, and we'll catch you soon. Thank you, Shaun.
Thank you. Bye-bye.